Let me tell you an amazing vertel that the Aruch HaShulchan says. Now, there's a Gemara that says like this. It says that Hillel was walking and he heard a scream coming from some house in the city. So Hillel says, I know that's not coming from my house. Right? And the Gemara says this is a fulfillment of the verse, Mishmua ra lo yira, that the man of faith is not scared of evil tidings, nachon libo b'tuach b'Hashem, because he has perfect trust in God. So Hillel says, I know it's not from my house. So the question is, what does that mean? No, it's not from his house. I mean, misfortune occurs to tzaddikim also. And what is the basis of this confidence? I know it's not from my house. So the Aruch HaShulchan says an amazing pshat. He says like this. He says he heard screaming. There was panic. He says, I know it's not from my house. There could be misfortune in my house. That's not how they react to misfortune in my house. They don't panic. They don't scream. Everything is accepted with serenity. You do what you have to do, but you don't panic. Right? So he heard a cry, a scream of panic. He said, that's not coming from my house. That I can tell you. Right? Because in Hillel's house, they exemplified this ideal of faith and trust and serenity. And when misfortune occurred, they accepted it. Now, the great Bali Musar took this to an extreme. Now, they tell a story. There was a certain guy, and one of his children was deathly ill. The doctors were there. They didn't know what to do. So, and it came the time for him to give his shir in the yeshiva. And he said, I'm going to go give the shir in yeshiva, and I'm going to come back. So they said to him, how could you leave at a time like this? So he said that who knows what can help? Maybe the merit of giving the shir will be the schus that the child needs. And he was able to go and give the shir with perfect calm, perfect serenity. Now, I'm not on that level.
What happened?
And the child recovered. Right? Now, I'm not on that level. Today in yeshiva, I was giving a shir, at the morning shir, and 10 minutes before the end, there was a blackout. The lights went out. I said to myself, now, I think I paid the electric bill in yeshiva. But I was wondering, is it possible that we didn't? You know? And the thought was so disturbing that I couldn't concentrate. The last 10 minutes were very, very difficult. And then after the 10 minutes, so Jeff was meeting me at the door and said, don't worry, the whole neighborhood has a blackout. We paid the bill. And then 5 minutes later, the lights went on. But the point is that the ability to be serene and calm, that really is something that is very, very desirable. And that's how a Jew should approach everything in life. Even the prospect of death, right, should be, accepted with calm. I once heard the name of the Skver Rebbe. The Skver Rebbe really said this, that it all depends how you live your life. Because if you live well, if you live a pious, virtuous life, then you can face death without panic. Right? If you've lived a impious life, then it's very hard to face death without panic, because it becomes very frightening.
But often it's easier to have equilibrium about one's own suffering than, how do the relatives of the Skver Rebbe feel at his loss?
Yeah, that's a true thing. But this is what the tzaddikim instruct their family. I'll tell you two little stories. Rabbi Salanter was a Lithuanian Gaon, but he actually died in Germany. And there was a person that was given the job to be with him, to attend to him in his last hours. And Rabbi Salanter sensed that this person was very frightened at the prospect of being alone with a dead body. And he was very scared that Rabbi Saul should God forbid, die, and but what he'd do if he knew the dead body. So Rabbi Yisrael spent his last hours talking to this person, explaining to him something to be scared of, relax, be calm, and so on and so forth. And Rabbi Meir Shapiro, the Lubliner Rav, in his last hours, when he knew he was dying, so he called his Talmidim, and he asked them to sing a niggin, a song that was very, very beloved to him. They should dance, right? And his wife just went berserk. How could you? So he says, what do you mean? He says, this is when the true joy begins.
For him, not for her.
But that's, if you love someone, then you have to accept that too. So in any case, people that are very lofty, panic is something which they would not allow themselves to succumb to. But I think that's an example of something which cannot be elevated. And this organization is the same thing. I mentioned just yesterday, as a matter of fact, it's a very interesting thing that Pesach, there's such a tremendous emphasis on the idea of Seder, order. Everything is organized, step by step by step by step. So the Sfasemis explains, because what it means to be a Ben Chorin, what it means to be a free person, is to be in charge of your own time. Because when other people set your agenda, when they tell you where you have to be and what you have to do and what you have to say and where you have to go and when you have to do it, you're not really free, you're a slave. Because when you are in control of your own life, that's what it means to be a Ben Chorin. And the hallmark of that is Seder, is order. A slave cannot make a schedule for himself. He can't make an order of the day. Why? Because he's always in a situation that if the master calls him, he has to drop everything and attend to the master. Right? A person who's free, he's free to live with a Seder. That's the hallmark of freedom, Seder. This organization means you're essentially a slave. Just there's no master. You're you're a slave to your own disorganization. You just can't take your life into control. I think this organization, to a great extent, is a consequence of unreasonable expectations. In other words, a person thinks that I can do 1,000 things today, right? And you jump from one to the other and try to count. It never works. Right? You have to be realistic. You have to know what you can do, what is reasonable, and even if you don't do as many things as you hoped for, you have to cherish what you're able to do. But these are traits which I think have to be uprooted totally. They are probably panic and disorganization. I think are the two traits that have the greatest potential to ruin a person's life. Nothing else comes to mind, more than those two. Okay, so this is Parsha Tzav. Now I have bad news. The next 2 weeks, we're not going to be together. Right? Next week is a little too close to Pesach, I think. B'tikas Chametz is Tuesday night, so Monday night is your last
day of panic.
Real night for Korbonos. And then the next week is Chalom Pesach itself, so we will resume Be'ezras Hashem on April 20th, I think it is. Right. But in the meantime, everyone should have a Chag Kosher B'Sameach. We'll end a little bit early tonight, so you have a little time to get in a little bit of cleaning. Just remember, I think we said this several years ago, that when we do a mitzvah, the soul experiences bliss on two different levels. First is on the conscious level. There's the joy that we're aware of. In the same way that whenever we do something that we think is important, we feel a sense of accomplishment. There's also a pleasure, the pleasure of the soul connecting to God, which we are not conscious of. We only become conscious of in the world to come. In this world, we are rarely able to tap into that spiritual connection. So we pointed out that where this is relevant is when it comes to the mitzvahs that are a drudgery. Because on the conscious level, we don't experience much joy. I mean, there are very few people that really enjoy cleaning for Pesach. I mean, there could be some people, but it's a little off. But on the other hand, your soul soars when you clean for Pesach. If you're doing it for the right reason in accordance with the halacha, if you're really cleaning with the intention of removing the chametz, I'm not talking about spring cleaning. Spring cleaning is also important, by the way, and for a different reason. I'll give that in a second. But if you're really cleaning to get rid of the chametz, then your soul is soaring at that moment. Just you're not aware of it, and the world to come will discover that that mitzvah was something fantastic. Spring cleaning, is not the same as Pesach cleaning, but spring cleaning also has an important value. Chazal say that a dira noeh, a pleasant home setting, is one of the three things which are marchiven daito shalom. It broadens a person's mind. Pardon?
Is one of the three things?
Things that broaden a person's mind.
Okay.
Which means they give a person serenity and peace of mind, and he's able to do great things. Whereas if a person lives in a hovel, it's very hard for him to be focused on positive things. So therefore, yeah, it's important to clean. Once in a while, there's a certain restfulness, a certain serenity that comes from a organized, clean environment. So it has a value. It's not the mitzvah of Bayira Bayimate, but nevertheless it has value, so that might also be a spiritual benefit. But whatever it is, everyone should have a very successful period of preparation leading up to Pesach, and everyone hopefully should have a very, very chad, kosher, v'sameach, a very happy Pesach, and a meaningful one. And Bezos Hashem, 2 weeks from tonight, no, 2 weeks from tonight, right, we will meet again.
It's got nothing to do with what we've been talking about. It's Birkat HaShemesh, I'm not sure what...
Birkas Nachama, yeah, sure.
What is the derivation of it, and how does it happen to occur at a particular time? What's the Talmud says like this: we, believe it or not, we paskin, we rule that ben Nisan nivra ha'olam, the world was made in Nisan, and every 28 years, there's a very complex Talmudic calculation, but every 28 years, the sun, vis-a-vis the other constellations, is in the same position as it was at the time of creation of the world. And why it's a 28-year cycle is complex, but that's the cycle that the Talmud says. And therefore, that's an occasion to recite the blessing, to praise God as Osa Maisa Gracious, as He who performed the creation. In Rome, it doesn't fall out of Erev Pesach. This is a very rare occurrence that it falls out actually on the day before Pesach. So...
it's true that it's only happened twice before?
No.
That is not true.
It's not true, yeah. It's happened, not often, but it has happened. So, I think this year may be eclipsed by some other things, like, Pedikas Chametz the night before, and burning the Chametz shortly afterward, and the Seder the night afterward. But it's, any mitzvah that comes once in 28 years, probably deserves a little bit of attention.
In the 28th year, or whatever it is it a specific day in Nisan that it occurs on?
No, it's based on the solar cycle, so it's
a complex formula.
Complex, yeah. I saw a poster for a program that the Toronto Board of Rabbis is sponsoring in Earl Bales Park. They're going to give out bagels. Get your last chametz also if you come to the Birchas HaChama. So they had a note: in case of rain, we'll see you in 28 years. So I would say that Be'ez Hashem, all of us, Ron Shalom should bless with life, and we should be able to say 20 years from now what we did the last time.